The key to inner peace. Stoic secrets for a truly fulfilling life. What if the peace you've been searching for has been within your reach all along, hidden in plain sight? In a world that constantly demands more from us, more success, more validation, more control, inner peace can feel elusive. But Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers profound and practical insights that can guide us to a place of tranquility, no matter what life throws our way. At its heart, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control and let go of everything else. It's not about escaping life's challenges, but about transforming the way we approach them. In this guide, we will uncover powerful Stoic secrets that can help you live a life filled with purpose, resilience, and most importantly, peace. Let's embark on this journey together and explore how these timeless principles can unlock the door to a truly fulfilling life. Number 1. Control what you can, accept what you can't. The cornerstone of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control, offers an essential key to attaining inner peace and fulfillment, particularly for men navigating the complexities of life between the ages of 40 and 70. This concept encourages us to clearly distinguish between what is within our power to control and what is not. Our thoughts, decisions, actions, and reactions are firmly within our control, while external events, the opinions of others, and the outcomes of our efforts often lie outside our influence. This principle invites a profound shift in mindset. Rather than stressing over things we cannot change, we should invest our energy in perfecting what we can, our internal world. As Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The wisdom here is simple, yet transformative. Your peace is disrupted not by circumstances, but by your judgments and reactions to those circumstances. In our modern world, it can be all too easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of trying to control outcomes. Perhaps you have worked tirelessly on a project, but the final result wasn't what you had hoped for. Maybe you've encountered criticism from someone whose opinion you value, and it stings. But pause for a moment and consider this. You can't control the reactions of others, nor can you force the world to bend to your will. What you can control, however, is how you interpret and respond to these events. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By embracing this truth, you free yourself from the frustrations that come from trying to micromanage the uncontrollable. You focus instead on cultivating resilience, clarity, and inner calm. Traits that will serve you well, especially as you grow older and life throws its inevitable curveballs. Think about the pressures that often come with midlife: career changes, relationships, health challenges, and perhaps even the question of legacy. All too often, we feel the urge to control every aspect of these areas, but the reality is, worrying about what you cannot control only breeds unnecessary suffering. If your health starts to decline, for example, instead of spiraling into anxiety over the condition itself, concentrate on what you can do, adopt healthier habits, seek medical advice, and maintain a positive mindset. As Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. When we allow our minds to dwell on worst-case scenarios or attempt to anticipate every outcome, we lose our grip on the present moment, which is where our real power lies. The more you let go of the need to control things outside yourself, the more peace you will find. This does not mean we should become passive. Stoicism is not about resigning from life's battles or challenges. It's about engaging in them with the understanding that your focus should remain on your personal effort and attitude, not the ultimate outcome. You still strive for success in your endeavors, but with the awareness that your peace of mind must not be tethered to the results. In the words of Epictetus, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. It's about being active, yet detached, a balancing act that leads to tranquility. In today's fast-paced world, where we are bombarded with external pressures, social comparisons, and a constant barrage of information, the Stoic principle of controlling what you can and accepting what you cannot is more relevant than ever. Life becomes significantly lighter when we release the burden of things beyond our control. As you move forward, ask yourself, what can I control in this situation, and what must I accept? You'll find that the answer usually reveals a path to a more peaceful, fulfilling existence. Number 2. Practice Amor Fati, love of fate. Let's talk about one of the most transformative Stoic practices, Amor Fati, the love of fate. This isn't just about accepting what happens in your life. It's about embracing it with an open heart, whether it's joyful or painful. Life throws all kinds of situations at us, some good, some bad. Most of us tend to resist the difficult moments, wishing things were different, hoping for smoother roads. But what if, instead of resisting, you chose to love whatever comes your way? That's what Amor Fati teaches us, to not merely accept but love our circumstances as they are part of a bigger plan, your growth, your resilience, your evolution. Think about it for a moment. Every challenge you faced in your life has made you the person you are today. Without them, you wouldn't have the strength, wisdom, or character you've developed. Stoicism encourages us to see every event in our life as something necessary, something meant for us, not to hurt us, but to shape us. And in that way, the practice of Amor Fati becomes a powerful tool for inner peace. Let me share a story that might resonate with you. There was a young woman named Sarah who worked hard to build her career. She poured everything into it, sacrificing her personal time, relationships, and even her health. One day, unexpectedly, she lost her job. The loss hit her hard. Anger, frustration, and even despair followed. She kept replaying the moment over and over in her mind, wondering what she could have done differently. She thought, why me? And wished things had gone another way. But then, something changed. After weeks of struggle, she decided to practice Amor Fati. Instead of seeing her job loss as a failure, she began to see it as an opportunity. It pushed her to reconsider her path, her priorities, and what really mattered to her. She realized she had been neglecting her passions, her relationships, and her health. Embracing her fate allowed her to reinvent herself. Months later, she found a job that was more aligned with her values, and she was happier than ever. The hardship she once hated had become a gift, a stepping stone to something greater. Now, think about your own life for a moment. What challenges are you facing right now? Are you resisting them, wishing they'd go away, or are you willing to embrace them as part of your journey? It's easy to think that life should only be filled with positive experiences, but that's not reality. The Stoics remind us that both the light and the dark are necessary for growth. What if you could learn to love the setbacks, the disappointments, and the hardships, knowing that they are shaping you into a stronger, wiser person? What if, instead of asking, why me, you asked, what is this teaching me? This shift in mindset can be life-changing. Practicing Amor Fati helps you to let go of resistance, and when you stop resisting, you stop suffering. You start seeing everything as an opportunity for growth, even the things you once thought were unbearable. Life will always present challenges, but they don't have to be a source of misery. They can be a source of strength, a way for you to tap into the deep reserves of resilience and wisdom within you. So the next time you encounter something difficult, don't run from it. Instead, lean into it, embrace it with love, and ask yourself, how can this help me grow? You'll find that when you adopt this perspective, you become unshakable. You stop being tossed around by the ups and downs of life, and you find a deep sense of inner peace. This is the power of Amor Fati, and this is how Stoicism teaches us to live a truly fulfilling life. Remember, the path isn't always easy, but it is always shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Number 3. Focus on the present moment. In a world that never stops moving, where the future constantly pulls at us and the past sometimes drags us down, one of the greatest lessons we can learn is to embrace the present moment. So often, we get caught up in regrets over what we should have done, or anxieties about what may come, that we lose sight of the only time that truly matters, right now. The Stoics understood this deeply. They taught that true peace and fulfillment come from the ability to remain present, to fully engage with the here and now without letting our minds be hijacked by what we cannot control. As Epictetus wisely put it, man is affected not by events, but by the view he takes of them. This timeless wisdom reminds us that the power to live peacefully lies in our perception of our circumstances, not in the circumstances themselves. Think about it. How much of your stress comes from rehashing things that have already happened, or worrying about what might occur tomorrow? The truth is, when you shift your focus back to the present, you immediately relieve yourself of unnecessary burdens. The Stoics believed that the present moment is the only time we actually have control over, and by focusing on it, we take back the reins of our own minds. Modern life, with its constant demands for our attention and the pressure to always be planning the next move, often pushes us away from this mindset. But the practice of grounding ourselves in the now is perhaps more important than ever. In practical terms, this could mean something as simple as taking a few deep breaths when you feel overwhelmed, or allowing yourself to focus on a task without letting your mind wander to future worries. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." What he meant was that our energy is better spent dealing with what is in front of us than worrying about what is beyond our reach. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain, but the present is alive, filled with potential, and ready for us to engage with it. To apply this in daily life, remind yourself that you can only act in the present moment. When challenges arise, ask yourself, what can I do right now? Focus on the small, manageable steps you can take today, rather than being consumed by what-ifs. Even when faced with difficult emotions or circumstances, the Stoics remind us to focus on what is within our control and to accept the rest with grace. As the great philosopher Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." By anchoring yourself in the present, you can strip away much of the noise that distracts you from living a truly fulfilling life. You will begin to notice that many of your anxieties and frustrations dissolve because they are tied to things that no longer exist or that have not yet come to pass. In this sense, focusing on the present is a gateway to inner peace. When you ground yourself in what is here and now, you free yourself from the shackles of regret and fear, allowing a calm and composed mind to guide your actions. Ultimately, this Stoic principle is a key to unlocking a life not driven by constant agitation, but by clarity and purpose. By mastering the art of staying present, you will discover that the key to a peaceful life is already in your hands. If you've watched up to this point, you're already taking the first steps toward discovering the Stoic secrets to inner peace and a truly fulfilling life. Comment below with "peaceful journey" to affirm your commitment to these transformative principles. Don't leave just yet. There are still more profound insights ahead that can guide you toward lasting tranquility and fulfillment. Stay until the end to unlock the keys to true inner peace. Number 4. Cultivate virtue. In the pursuit of inner peace and true fulfillment, the Stoics offer a profound yet simple roadmap: cultivate virtue. For them, living a life of virtue is not just a suggestion, but a necessity for anyone seeking happiness that is stable and enduring. The Stoics believed that true contentment doesn't come from external achievements, wealth, or status. It comes from within, from how we live each day and the values we embody. Virtue, for them, is the core of what makes life meaningful and fulfilling. They defined it through 4 central pillars: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. When we consistently strive to embody these virtues, we align ourselves with a life of purpose and inner peace, even when the storms of life rage around us. This idea may sound lofty, but it's surprisingly practical, and its impact can be felt in the everyday moments of our lives. Think about wisdom for a moment. It's not just about being knowledgeable or having all the right answers, but about making sound judgments. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to react emotionally or make decisions based on fleeting impulses. Wisdom teaches us to pause, reflect, and consider the bigger picture before acting. It's the quiet voice that tells you to think twice before sending that angry email or responding to a situation with frustration. This is how we cultivate a sense of peace and balance in our lives, by choosing our responses wisely rather than being swept away by the currents of emotion. Now, let's talk about courage. It's not about fearlessness, but about taking action despite fear. Courage is required not only in moments of great adversity but also in the small, everyday challenges. It's the courage to stand up for what is right, to have difficult conversations, and to pursue your goals even when the odds seem stacked against you. Justice, another pillar of Stoic virtue, is about fairness and treating others as they deserve to be treated. In the workplace, in our relationships, and even in casual encounters with strangers, we often face situations that test our sense of justice. Are we being fair? Are we considering the needs and perspectives of others? Justice calls us to act with integrity, to be honest in our dealings, and to contribute positively to the community around us. It's a virtue that fosters respect and trust, both in ourselves and in others. Then there's temperance, perhaps one of the hardest virtues to master in a world full of excess. Temperance is about balance and self-control. It's about knowing when enough is enough and having the discipline to avoid overindulgence, whether that's in food, drink, technology, or even in our thoughts. It's that little reminder to stop scrolling through social media when it starts affecting your mood, or to hold back from saying something hurtful in the heat of the moment. Temperance helps us maintain inner harmony by keeping our desires and impulses in check. Now you might wonder, how does all of this translate to inner peace? Let me share a story of a friend who applied these Stoic principles in her own life. She was constantly stressed by her demanding job, always chasing promotions and recognition. She thought that success would bring her happiness, but it only left her feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. After reading about Stoicism, she decided to focus on virtue instead. She started practicing wisdom by making thoughtful decisions about how she spent her time. She showed courage by setting boundaries at work and saying no to tasks that didn't align with her values. She embraced justice by mentoring younger colleagues and making sure she treated everyone fairly. Finally, she practiced temperance by limiting her working hours and prioritizing her well-being. Over time, she found a deep sense of peace, not because her circumstances had changed, but because she had changed. She realized that by living in accordance with virtue, she could find contentment within herself, regardless of the external pressures she faced. So ask yourself, how can you cultivate these virtues in your life today? Are there areas where you could apply more wisdom, show more courage, act with greater justice, or exercise more temperance? The Stoics remind us that fulfillment isn't something we find outside of ourselves, it's something we build from within. By striving to live virtuously, we align with what is truly important, and in doing so, we create a life of meaning and peace. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That is the key to inner peace, being virtuous in action, not just in thought. The lesson here is clear. True happiness comes from living in alignment with your highest self. It's not about perfection, but about progress. Each day offers a new opportunity to practice wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Number 5. Practice Memento Mori. Remember you will die. One of the most profound teachings of Stoicism, and one that holds the key to a truly fulfilling life, is the practice of Memento Mori, or remember you will die. At first glance, this may sound dark or morbid, but in reality, It's an empowering reminder that allows us to live with greater clarity and intention. You see, when we reflect on our mortality, we begin to understand how finite our time truly is. This isn't meant to evoke fear or despair, quite the opposite. By acknowledging that our time is limited, we are gifted with the ability to prioritize what genuinely matters in our lives. We stop getting caught up in the trivial, in the things that drain our energy and spirit, and instead focus on what brings true fulfillment, meaningful relationships, purposeful actions, and inner peace. Think of the moments in your life where you felt like time slipped away, consumed by petty arguments, stress about things that never really mattered in the grand scheme, or hours lost to distractions that neither improved your life nor brought you happiness. Now, imagine living each day with the awareness that your time here is a precious, limited resource. What would change in your approach? Wouldn't you value the people around you more deeply? Wouldn't you let go of those minor annoyances and focus instead on the things that bring joy, growth, and peace? Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, gave us a vital reminder when he said, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing." What he means here is that we should live every day as though it could be our last, not in a reckless or anxious way, but with a sense of urgency and focus. Too often, we fall into the trap of thinking we have more time than we do. We push off our dreams, we neglect our relationships, we delay our pursuit of meaning, all because we believe there will be a tomorrow to catch up. But what if tomorrow doesn't come? What if the only moment we truly have is now? This is where Memento Mori becomes not just a Stoic practice, but a profound life lesson. Consider a modern story that illustrates this well. Hannah was a high-powered corporate lawyer, always chasing the next promotion, constantly in meetings and perpetually checking her phone. She often missed family dinners and spent her weekends catching up on work. She kept telling herself, "I'll spend time with my kids after this big case," or "I'll take that vacation with my partner once things settle down at work." But then one day, she received a stark reminder of mortality when she lost a close friend to a sudden illness. It jolted her into realizing that all the time she'd been waiting for things to settle down, life was passing her by. In that moment, she decided to change. She made more time for the people she loved, prioritized her health, and focused on the things that truly mattered. This shift didn't come from fear, but from a deep understanding that life is fragile, and its brevity is what makes it so valuable. So, I ask you, how much time do you spend on things that truly enrich your life? What are you putting off, telling yourself you'll get to it later? And how can you start living today in a way that aligns with what you truly value, instead of waiting for some uncertain future? By practicing Memento Mori, we are not asking ourselves to dwell on death, but to embrace life more fully. Every time you remind yourself that your time is limited, you give yourself the gift of clarity. You can see what's worth pursuing and what isn't, where to focus your energy and where to let go. Life's small irritations start to lose their power over you because, in the grand scheme of things, they don't matter. What matters is how you live, how you love, and how much peace you cultivate within yourself. The lesson here is simple yet transformative. Stop postponing the things that truly matter. Whether it's mending a broken relationship, following a passion you've long neglected, or simply taking time to appreciate the present moment, do it now. Inner peace comes when we align our actions with our values, and the awareness of our mortality can guide us toward that alignment. Don't wait until it's too late to start living the life you truly want to live. So as you move through your day, remember, Memento Mori, and let it guide you toward a more purposeful and fulfilling life. Number 6. Embrace the process, not just the goal. In modern society, we are conditioned to equate success with achieving certain outcomes, whether that's earning a promotion, accumulating wealth, or reaching a personal milestone. This results-oriented mindset can create a cycle of constant striving, followed by feelings of frustration and dissatisfaction when things don't go as planned. Stoicism, however, teaches a powerful alternative. Fulfillment comes not from the end result, but from how we approach the journey. The Stoics remind us that while goals are important, the process of working toward those goals is where we find true meaning and growth. As Epictetus wisely said, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." This doesn't mean we stop setting goals. Rather, it means we detach from the anxiety surrounding the outcome and focus on the effort we invest each day. Consider for a moment the distinction between outcome-based living and process-based living. When we fixate on an outcome, we tie our happiness to an external result, something we can't fully control. Whether it's landing a dream job, securing a big deal, or achieving a personal fitness goal, external circumstances like market conditions, other people's decisions, or even luck can influence the final result. Focusing only on the outcome can lead to disappointment, stress, and a sense of inadequacy if things don't go as expected. On the other hand, when we embrace the process, we anchor our sense of fulfillment in the present moment and the actions we take daily. This is where Stoic wisdom shines. By prioritizing effort over outcome, we shift our focus to what is truly within our control: our attitude, decisions, and persistence. The result becomes secondary because the process itself is where growth, learning, and personal transformation occur. Take, for example, the story of an artist. If their only concern is selling a piece of art, they may rush the creative process, compromising on quality and authenticity. However, if they fall in love with the act of creating, practicing their craft, experimenting with new techniques, and immersing themselves in the joy of creation, the outcome becomes less significant. Whether the artwork sells or not, the artist has already experienced fulfillment in the act of creation. This shift in mindset, from being driven by external validation to deriving joy from the process, cultivates a sense of peace that can't be easily disrupted by external circumstances. The same principle applies to other areas of life. Imagine you're training for a marathon. While crossing the finish line is a worthy goal, the real strength, both mental and physical, comes from the months of preparation, building endurance, pushing through tough runs, overcoming doubts, and staying committed to your training schedule. The marathon is simply the culmination of all those small efforts. In fact, regardless of the final result, the process itself has already transformed you into a stronger, more resilient individual. This is what Stoicism teaches us. The process shapes us far more than the destination. Whether or not you achieve the outcome you desire, the discipline, resilience, and wisdom gained along the way are invaluable. The Stoic philosopher Seneca famously said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." When we focus solely on outcomes, we remain in a state of craving, always wanting more, always dissatisfied with what we have in the moment. But when we embrace the process, we find contentment in the effort, not the result. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches that the pursuit of excellence and the cultivation of virtue lie in how we live each moment, not just in what we achieve. When we focus on the process rather than the outcome, we align ourselves with the Stoic ideal of living according to nature, embracing the ups and downs of life without letting them define our happiness. As you move forward in your personal or professional journey, remember, the process is where true fulfillment is found. When you detach from outcomes and focus on what you can control, your effort, attitude, and actions, you cultivate resilience, peace, and a sense of accomplishment that is independent of external success. This is the Stoic secret to inner peace, falling in love with the process, knowing that it is the journey, not the destination, that shapes who we are. By staying with us so far, you're clearly seeking a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. Drop a calm mind in the comments to commit to practicing these Stoic principles in your life. Keep watching. We're about to dive into even more insights that will empower you to lead a truly peaceful and purposeful life. Number 7. The importance of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the key to unlocking true inner freedom. the Stoic philosophers believed that real autonomy doesn't come from changing the world around us, but from mastering ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, often emphasized this truth. It's not our external circumstances that bind us, but our internal habits, desires, and impulses. Think about the times you felt overwhelmed or trapped. Was it really the situation that had power over you, or was it how you reacted to it? Stoicism teaches us that the most powerful prison we can live in is one we build within ourselves, one made of unchecked desires, fleeting emotions, and undisciplined thoughts. But there is a way out, a path to liberation, and it starts with cultivating self-discipline. When we develop self-discipline, we gain the ability to rise above the chaos of our inner world. Imagine having the strength to face life's difficulties without being swayed by every emotional wave or external pressure. That's what the Stoics aimed for. Not a life free of challenges, but a life in which those challenges don't control us. By practicing discipline over our emotions, we become capable of choosing how we respond to any situation, whether it's a frustrating day at work, a difficult conversation, or even personal setbacks. Self-discipline gives us the power to act from a place of calm deliberation rather than impulsive reaction, and that calmness is the foundation of inner peace. Consider this in modern life. Think of someone who is trying to break a habit, like scrolling endlessly on social media or relying on junk food for comfort. They know it's not good for them, but in the moment, it feels easier to give in. Without self-discipline, these habits continue to control them, creating a cycle of frustration and self-blame. But when they start practicing self-control, little by little, they regain their freedom. They become more intentional about how they spend their time and energy, and over time, those small acts of discipline add up to big transformations. This doesn't just apply to habits. It's about mastering how we respond to life's events. The more disciplined we become, the less likely we are to be swayed by fleeting emotions, whether it's anger, jealousy, or anxiety. How often do we let a single bad moment ruin an entire day? One harsh comment from a colleague or a stressful traffic jam can set off a cascade of negativity. But what if instead, we had the discipline to pause, take a deep breath, and choose a different response? What if we decided not to let those external events dictate our internal state? Stoicism reminds us that we always have that choice. By practicing self-discipline, we gain the power to step back, assess the situation, and respond in a way that aligns with our values and goals. This is the true essence of inner peace, knowing that no matter what happens, we are in control of how we respond. So the lesson here is simple but profound. Self-discipline leads to self-mastery, and self-mastery leads to inner peace. It's not about being rigid or denying yourself joy. It's about having the strength to direct your own life instead of being at the mercy of your impulses or external events. The more we practice discipline in our thoughts, actions, and emotions, the more we free ourselves from the internal chaos that often holds us back from living a truly fulfilling life. Ask yourself, where in your life could you benefit from more discipline? What small steps can you take today to start mastering your inner world? Remember, every act of self-discipline is a step toward freedom. Number 8. Daily reflection. One of the most profound practices the Stoics engaged in was daily self-reflection, a habit that can unlock tremendous personal growth and inner peace, especially for men in the prime of their lives. By taking a moment at the end of each day to look back on our actions, decisions, and reactions, we cultivate a deep sense of self-awareness, which is the key to living an intentional and fulfilling life. This practice is not about dwelling on our shortcomings or basking in our achievements, but rather about observing our behavior with honesty and humility. Seneca himself emphasized this habit when he said, "I examine myself and my whole day. I review what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." His words remind us that true growth begins with accountability, the willingness to see ourselves as we truly are, not as we wish to be. In modern life, where distractions and external pressures abound, it is easy to lose touch with ourselves. We get caught up in our roles, whether as fathers, partners, or professionals, and often forget to check in with the most important person in our lives, ourselves. By embracing the practice of daily reflection, we can reconnect with our values and principles, and ensure that we are living in alignment with them. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, advised, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In reflecting on our actions, we move beyond theory and step into the practice of living as the person we strive to be. Each day offers the opportunity for course correction, to make small adjustments that bring us closer to the best version of ourselves. In this way, daily reflection is not just a tool for self-criticism, but a means of continuous self-improvement. The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity and accessibility. It doesn't require special tools or long hours. All it demands is a few quiet moments at the end of your day to ask yourself honest questions. How did I respond to the challenges I faced today? Where did I show strength and where did I falter? What could I do better tomorrow? By engaging in this inner dialogue, you build resilience and mental clarity, empowering yourself to handle life's inevitable ups and downs with greater composure. It is in these moments of quiet contemplation that you lay the groundwork for lasting peace. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This mastery begins with understanding oneself, and understanding is born from reflection. As men who have accumulated years of experience and wisdom, the practice of daily reflection allows us to refine the lessons we've learned, to discern the difference between what truly matters and what is merely noise. It invites us to consider whether we are living according to our deepest values or simply reacting to the demands of the world around us. This introspective process brings clarity, helping us recognize patterns in our behavior, whether good or bad, and offering us the chance to make conscious choices. Over time, this simple yet powerful habit can lead to a more grounded and intentional life. It is not just about what we accomplish, but about who we become through our actions. In today's fast-paced society, where technology and responsibilities can overwhelm us, taking time for reflection might seem like a luxury. But in truth, it is a necessity. Just as a sailor navigates by the stars, we too need a steady point of reference to guide our journey through life. Reflection is that point of reference, allowing us to stay on course, even when the seas get rough. "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe," said Marcus Aurelius. And that harmony is found when we pause, reflect, and realign ourselves with our highest values. In conclusion, the practice of daily reflection is a timeless Stoic secret to achieving inner peace and a truly fulfilling life. By honestly reviewing our actions and decisions, we gain the wisdom to make better choices, and we strengthen our capacity for self-discipline and virtue. For men navigating the complexities of middle age and beyond, this habit is a powerful tool to cultivate a serene mind, resilient spirit, and meaningful existence. Number 9. Practicing gratitude. Gratitude, though often associated with spiritual paths, is also at the core of Stoic philosophy. The Stoic thinker Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of appreciating what we already have instead of fixating on what's missing. Practicing gratitude is not just a feel-good habit, it is a transformative tool that can reshape our entire outlook on life. When you cultivate gratitude, you train your mind to see the abundance that already surrounds you, reducing the need for external validation or the endless pursuit of material wealth. In our modern world, where we are constantly bombarded with messages urging us to want more success, more status, more things, it's easy to feel like we never have enough. But Stoicism teaches us a different path, one where peace and contentment arise from acknowledging the good that is already present, no matter how small. By focusing on gratitude, we actively counter feelings of anxiety, restlessness, and dissatisfaction. How often have you felt uneasy or unsatisfied because you were thinking about what you don't have. This mental state traps us in a cycle of craving and discontent, always looking for the next thing to fill a perceived void. But when you pause and focus on what's already here, you'll notice a shift. Suddenly your mind is at ease. You start appreciating the present moment, the people in your life, your health, or even the small joys like a cup of coffee in the morning or a walk in the park. Gratitude helps you realize that you already have so much to be happy about. It doesn't mean that you have to ignore life's difficulties or pretend everything is perfect. Instead, it invites you to see the value in every situation, even in challenges. A key principle in Stoicism is that every difficulty is an opportunity to practice virtue. When you face a tough situation, the Stoic mindset teaches you to ask, "What can I learn from this?" or "How can this make me stronger?" The Stoics believed that hardships are part of life's natural order and can serve as tools for personal growth. When you practice gratitude, you can even find reasons to be thankful for these challenges because they help you build resilience, patience, and wisdom. For example, think about a time when something didn't go as planned. Maybe a job interview didn't lead to an offer, or a relationship ended. In the moment, it might feel like a setback. But often, these experiences push us toward new opportunities or teach us valuable lessons we wouldn't have learned otherwise. Reflect on that. Can you think of a past hardship that, in hindsight, you're grateful for because it shaped who you are today? One powerful story from modern life comes from a woman named Harry, who was deeply dissatisfied with her career. She always felt that something was missing, despite her success. She was constantly chasing the next promotion, the next raise, believing that fulfillment lay just beyond her reach. But after attending a mindfulness workshop that introduced her to the concept of gratitude, she decided to make a small shift. Every day, she began writing down 3 things she was grateful for. At first, it was difficult. She wasn't used to looking for the positives. But over time, she noticed a profound change. Instead of focusing on what she lacked, she began to see the good in her current job, her supportive colleagues, and the skills she had gained. She realized that her dissatisfaction had less to do with her career and more to do with her mindset. This simple practice of gratitude helped her find peace and contentment without needing to change her external circumstances. Her story is a reminder that inner peace isn't found in constantly striving for more. It's found in appreciating what's already here. So what are you grateful for today? Take a moment to think about it. Gratitude is a muscle, and the more you practice, the stronger it becomes. Each day offers new opportunities to acknowledge the good in your life. You'll start to notice that peace and fulfillment don't come from achieving more. They come from appreciating what you already have. The Stoic secret to inner peace is simple yet profound. Make gratitude a daily practice. Not only will it bring you closer to a sense of contentment, but it will also transform how you handle life's inevitable challenges. Gratitude turns even difficulties into stepping stones toward growth and fulfillment, helping you realize that peace and happiness are not something to chase. They are already within your reach. What are you waiting for? Start your practice today and watch how it transforms your life. Number 10. Live according to nature. Living in harmony with nature is one of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism, and it holds the key to unlocking true inner peace. But what does it really mean to live according to nature? At its core, it's about recognizing that life comes with its ups and downs, its successes and struggles, and rather than resisting these fluctuations, we must embrace them. The Stoics believed that everything in the universe unfolds with a purpose. Every event, every obstacle, and every hardship is part of a larger natural order. While we may not always understand why something happens, we can be certain that it's contributing to our growth and development. Resisting life's challenges, trying to control things that are beyond our influence, only creates inner chaos and emotional turbulence. However, when we learn to accept what life brings us, both the good and the bad, we find a deeper sense of peace and resilience. Think of someone who loses their job unexpectedly. At first, they might feel anger, frustration, and anxiety. They could spend endless energy blaming external factors, feeling like a victim of circumstance. But as Stoicism teaches, this resistance only deepens the pain. What if instead they accepted the situation and saw it as an opportunity for growth? Maybe losing that job pushes them to explore new passions, develop new skills, or even start their own business. When we live according to nature, we see that setbacks are not just roadblocks. They are opportunities disguised as challenges. Life will throw curveballs, but it's up to us how we react. Are we going to resist the natural course of events, or are we going to flow with them and adapt? This doesn't mean we should passively accept everything without taking action. Far from it. Stoicism encourages us to act in line with virtue and wisdom, but it also reminds us that there are things we cannot control. What we can control, however, is how we perceive and respond to the world around us. If you think about it, how often have you been caught up in a situation that felt out of your control, only to realize later that your suffering came not from the event itself, but from your refusal to accept it? Maybe you were stuck in traffic, late to an important meeting. The traffic is outside your control, but your frustration, anger, and stress, those come from within you. Stoicism teaches us that by changing our mindset, we can change our experience of life. Imagine walking through a storm. You could curse the rain, get frustrated with the cold wind and fight against it. Or you could accept that the storm is part of nature's cycle and adapt. Grab an umbrella, seek shelter, or simply allow yourself to be present in that moment, knowing it will pass. The same principle applies to the storms in our lives. By resisting them, we increase our suffering. By accepting them, we find peace. So next time life presents you with a difficult situation, pause and ask yourself, am I resisting nature, or am I embracing the flow of life? The lesson here is clear. Inner peace is found when we align ourselves with the natural flow of life. By accepting the things we cannot control and taking responsibility for the things we can, we develop resilience and serenity. It's a mindset shift, a realization that life isn't happening to you, but for you. Every obstacle is an invitation to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. So, are you ready to embrace the challenges life brings your way? In this video, we've explored the timeless Stoic principles that guide us toward inner peace and a truly fulfilling life. From controlling what is within our power, to embracing challenges with Amor, Fati, to practicing gratitude and self-discipline. These ancient lessons are not just philosophical ideas. They offer practical tools for personal growth and happiness in our modern world. Now I encourage you to take what you've learned today and apply it to your daily life. How can you shift your mindset to focus on what you can control? Where can you practice more gratitude or embrace the process rather than just the outcome? Let me know in the comments below how these Stoic principles resonate with you, or share your own thoughts on finding peace in a chaotic world. Don't forget to subscribe to Stoic in Your Life for more insights on how Stoicism can help you navigate life with wisdom, resilience, and peace. Until next time, stay grounded and embrace the journey.